It is me, T Shroom, for the Investing Bros, and I am excited to have a very special guest. Going to be bringing them on here in just a second. But before I do, I did want to read you a couple of headlines here and look at the Bitcoin chart very briefly. But the long and short of it is, guys, is until this GBTC situation gets fleshed out, it's really going to be not a lot of very important news. I do have a couple of headlines that I want to bring you, but today is really all about gem hunting. We're going to be looking at some gems. That's right. I have CEPRYL on. Some of you may know him already from the gem hunting community. Others of you may not know him at all, and you're going to be introduced to a stellar gem hunter. So we're going to be taking a look. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look here at what headlines do exist. First one, judge blocks CZ travel to UAE despite offer to use 4.5 billion Binance equity as security. Think collateral. Essentially, former Binance CEO CZ, he wants to go visit a friend who is getting surgery in the UAE. That's what he's claiming, at least. I don't have any reason not to believe him. And he's also putting up 4.5 billion of his equity in Binance as the collateral. Hey, if I don't come back, U.S. government, you get to keep this 4.5 billion of equity, right? But the DOJ didn't go for it. Okay, so that's the news in terms of CZ. This is an important story, guys, because CZ could potentially have some information on other exchanges that could lead to negative outcomes for the crypto ecosystem, for the economy in the crypto world. So we watch that. I'm optimistic. I don't think he's going to do or say anything that is going to compromise our bags, our portfolios, which is ultimately what we care about, right? I also care about CZ as a leader in crypto. His saga is still far from over. It's going to be really interesting to see how that cookie crumbles. All right, let's continue to look here. We have one more story. Bitcoin holds above 40,000 ahead of the US GDP numbers. Those are going to be important. And then there's also 5.8 billion in crypto expiry. That's going to be our news for today. I'm going to go ahead and welcome on our guest, CEPRYL. CEPRYL, how are you doing today, my man?
Hello, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure. You reached out. I know that you've done a bunch of collaborations with Crypto Archie and Crypto Seth, and they're guys who come on all the time, and they show the awesome gems that they have been spending time down in the crypto mines. Look, so to speak, kind of looking and finding some bad ones and throwing them away. Right, keeping them out of your bags, keeping them far from your wallet. But then every once in a while, you find a really good one, and maybe you keep it for yourself for a little while. And now you're bringing it to light here on the Investing Bros, so that folks can learn about them. So that's the first question I would have for you, CEPRYL, is what are some gems that you're really excited about that you found this year?
So I'm going to start with a bit of a controversial one that has been on the sphere that it's actually been pumping the backs of myself and my private investor community on Patreon, that a lot of people FUDed it. And as you probably know, FUD in the low cap sphere is usually business as usual because it happens all of the time. And this is how a lot of these projects start and then are just basically brought to the public. And what I'm talking about here is a right stream. So Rightstream is a project that just went through a hack. So they hacked a wallet, and if this would have been like a not legitimate project, then the C-level team would have basically fallen into the unknown. They would have abandoned it, taken the profits, and then maybe just go and take a nice holiday in Mexico. But what they did instead is that they put their faces out there immediately. They solved the issue that they had, and it turns out to be just FUD. And if you see the chart right here with the token going to zero, it's not because the price went to zero. It's just because they simply migrated to the new contract address to just basically take a hold of the situation. And after that, we've just been pumping ever since. I think we are a 7x, 6 to 7x from when I started talking about this project. It's crazy to me. It's only 9 million in market cap. So, of course, you're taking a bit of a risk into investing projects like this, as always, but no risk, no reward. If you want to make multiple 100x's, as you probably know, you need to find projects like this. And I definitely invite you guys to do some research on this project because a lot of people are comparing it with Hello, which, I mean, they still follow into the entertainment, TV show sphere, but this is a project that is exclusively focused on bringing TV shows and movies, and in my opinion, is very legitimate. I ran an AMA interviewing the CEO just last week that you can follow on my channel. They have a launchpad for TV shows and movies, and they also have this massive TV show that is called Crypto Nights, in which people are gonna basically pitch, like investors are gonna pitch their Web3 projects to the judges. And by owning the token, you're essentially gonna be an investor yourself. You're gonna own a piece of the pie. Lots of bullish updates. They're releasing the full roadmap and token utility next week, so that's why there's a lot of bullish sentiment that is being built towards this project. Lots of stuff. I've covered this project again with the MA and a dedicated video that I've explained the token utility and what we know so far, and I'm very excited for next week. So this is definitely what is on my radar today, which pretty much everything's been read in the last couple of days, and this is just like skyrocketing. So I can't wait for like next week with all the new announcements, etc. So this would definitely be on top of the list today.
Yeah, I mean it's had an insane ride over the last month. This coin, I'll just jump over to my screen really quick. Over the last month, this coin has done, is this right? Almost 3,000% over the last month. And then over the last 7 days, it's done just under 200%. So, you know, while the rest of the crypto market is kind of crapping the bed, so to speak, you know, right is getting right with investors. Sorry, had to do it.
It's the right one.
But the other thing I'm noticing too on this one is it's not on Binance or Coinbase. Now, I don't know that this one would get listed on Coinbase anytime soon, but is there I notice it's on Binance Smart Chain. That's actually behind you, which you can see there. Is there any anticipation that this coin could get listed on Binance anytime soon?
Yes, they literally. It's a good thing that you asked me, because there's literally an article that was published on Binance on the blog, like literally yesterday. You know, so they have their eyes on it. They are planning tier 1 exchange listings very, very soon, and it should happen, I think, before the end of Q1.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys know that when this gets listed, even when it gets listed on like KuCoin and Bybit to start with, it's already gonna have a lot of price movement, and then when it gets to crypto.com, Binance, Coinbase, that is gonna be the ultimate push that is gonna elevate this to, you know, good stuff.
Absolutely. And this is the first time I'll jump in and just say, guys, usually on Investing Bros, we cover names like Chainlink, Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum, AVAX, and we like to talk about Kaspa quite a bit. And that's Kaspa is where we kind of where Investing Bros shakes hands with the gem hunters, so to speak, the guys that are down in the mines and the lower caps that are maybe not even in you know, the tens of millions yet in terms of market cap. But Kaspa kind of brings us all together. We'll talk about Kaspa here in a second. But the main thing that I wanted to bring up is that these coins that we're going to be talking about today, that CEPRYL is bringing up from the mines, from the low cap mines, these are different. These have a much different risk assessment than your Chainlinks and your Bitcoins. So just understand that, and also understand that a lot of these are not. We just talked about it. You can't get them on Binance. You can't get them on Coinbase, right? So the ways that you acquire these coins have more risk too, because you're having to do just more clicks, right? And more clicks can equal more scams that you might be entering into. So you have to be careful. But at the end of the day, these coins, some of these coins, we don't know which ones specifically, but some of these coins are going to do, you know, a 50, 100, 200, 500x, right? And that is going to make millionaires. It really will. I 100% believe that. Whether it's going to be you or whether it's going to be me, we don't know, because we don't know exactly which coin's going to do well. That's why I bring on the gem hunters to help us explore the mines that, you know, you guys do this full time. You do this, you know, pretty much full time, right? You do this, you know, quite a bit. Yeah. So he's spending the time that you don't have to go down into the mines and look at. So let's get into some more projects. What are some that you're buying now that there's been a big pullback?
Yeah, that's another very good question, because, of course, pretty much everything is red. So even some of the projects, maybe I'm up already a significant amount, but they got definitely decent correction that a lot of people were just, you know, it was very long awaited. Mm-hmm. Now, we don't know if they're going to drop further or if they're just going to go up and up until the bull run. We really don't know that. So that's also why I recommend to start DCAing. And then if it drops more, you just buy a little more. you bring down your average entry. So I do think it's already like a good strategy to start investing into this. And the things that are mostly on under my radar right now, I would say GFAL would be definitely a good pick. It wasn't something I was recommending highly before the actual correction that he had. I think we almost touched the 5 cents. Then it went down to like 3. So in my opinion, at this current market cap, I think they're sitting, I think 70, 80 million, something like that. I think it would definitely be a good pick right now. And that projects like Little Up Games is another one that I'm very bullish on. It's literally in my top 5 or top 7 altcoins to hold for the bull run. It's focused on esports. I say all the time that there's a lot of money in crypto, there's a lot of money in gaming, there's a lot of money in esports. You blend the 3 together and you literally have a trio made in heaven that can give you like a lot of rewards. They're in the development of like 2 more games that are going to be esports oriented as well. They're going to tournaments, conventions. There's professional gamers that are literally going to be played for playing those games. And if they enter the circles that Lit Up Games, Lit is the ticker.
Oh, Lit Lab. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one I've heard of as well, for sure.
Yeah, and I literally held an AMA with Lit Up Games as well, like last week. So you can check them out under my previous live streams. Very bullish on that project. Something else that I would eye on the moment is AWT. This is another riskier pick that can potentially give you a lot of rewards. It's only 4 million in market cap in this very moment. However, it has a $100 million evaluation. It's backed by Microsoft, Google, AMD, Epic Games. The games are going to be published on Steam. It started as a single big RPG game, but then they just made an announcement last week that they're actually going to develop an entire universe with multiple AAA titles to be released in the upcoming bull run. So very bullish stuff. And if you guys are looking for like the massive returns and of course are willing to take a higher risk, I wouldn't recommend to put 20% on my portfolio to pick like this. You want to get in before they actually release the games, because you're getting a higher risk, but potentially a higher return at the end of the bull run when the games are actually out, when everybody FOMOs into the market because the games are already released out there.
Mm-hmm. And that's so AWT Abyss World?
Exactly.
Yeah, it looks like this one is, let's see. Where would you buy this one? On BitGet?
I would buy on Maxi simply because, first of all, it's a non-KYC exchange, so there's a lot of perks for that as well. Yeah. But the trading fees of Maxi are 0.1, so it's pretty much as low as you can get. And people can use it even from the US if they just use NordVPN. As you probably know, it's completely legal. And people don't need to KYC. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to use BitGet, for example, for the US. And
right.
Yeah, Maxi is what I use for the majority of my trades.
Awesome. Super cool. So let's actually want to challenge you to like come up to the not mega caps, but like the larger caps. What of the top 200 coins do you think are really good buys during this pullback? Do you even invest in those?
Yes, I do. Don't worry. My portfolio is not degen. So my first one that I would buy right now would probably be Kaspa. Kaspa, I think we're still below 10 cents. I haven't checked the charts in the last few hours, but we were still below 10 cents, I think, this morning. I think it's a great entry. And despite the fact, again, that I go into very low cap, etc., Kaspa is still like the biggest holding on my portfolio right now. I'm a strong believer of the technology, on what it stands for, on fixing some of the things that Bitcoin had, and the problems in terms of cost and transactions, speed of transactions. So Kaspa is definitely out there. The market cap is not super tiny, but I think that in terms of like risk to reward ratio, this is one of the best picks that you can still buy. In my opinion, is the easiest 10x minimum that you can buy right now, even if you don't have any Kaspa. I think that it's a no-brainer that it's going to go to at least $1, at least in my opinion. So even if you buy now and worst case scenario goes to 10x, I mean, you put, I don't know, 10 grand, you have 100 grand. That's still great gains for a relatively low risk. Other than that, I definitely believe that, according to the budget that you have to invest, I do believe that if you have a lower budget, you should risks. But if you have a high budget already, if you're a high net worth individual, I think that it's also very relevant to preserve the wealth that you built. So the higher your budget, the higher I do believe that you should build a safety net, which should be based on low to medium risk picks. So Caspa, I would put it somewhere in the middle. It's still a safety net for me because I think that it's relatively safe due to the high decentralization, etc. But I would definitely add something like Solana or Ethereum, Chainlink perhaps, and maybe this safety net could be something around 20% if you want to take more risk, or it could be even 60% if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars and you don't need to take crazy risks to build on wealth. So anyway, getting back to the question, I think that in the top 200, definitely Caspa would be there. Is Min Layer close to the top 200? I'm not sure.
Caspa's in the top 200, yeah.
No, Min Layer, I was saying.
Oh, Min Layer? Oh, Mint Layer. I don't know if that has made it into the top 200 quite yet.
I'm curious.
Yeah, while you're taking a look at that, we got a super chat from Kasha Cats. Very, very grateful for that. $5. Said, fantastic guest, T-Shroom. So, CEPRYL getting some love from the chat. You got to love it. Kasha Cats, thank you so much for that super chat. Keep the love coming, bros. Gustavo Vallejos said, T-Shroom, take a look at XNA. Is XNA a ticker that you've taken a look at before?
Yeah, I do believe that the team is anonymous, so that's a bit of a flag for me for investing into. I think it's another layer one project with the team not doxed. So yeah, it's probably not something that I would hold for like the long term. There are some projects that I invested, the team is not doxed, but it's more like very short term plays for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually thought the same thing when I looked at this one. Somebody, I think it was Redman. Redman, he does like X Spaces. He brought this one to my attention, and it does look good outside of the fact that the team's not doxed, and people just don't understand how important that is. But I've worked with crypto projects where they're sitting on like a really good idea that probably will do very well, but they're Americans and they don't want to launch a crypto project under the current status of the regulatory situation with the SEC. Because they just have like normal engineering jobs, and they're like, why put our names at risk when we're making money off of this crypto like mechanism that we've built, and we want to bring it to the public. But if we do that and then crypto gets banned or something in the U.S., we're going to be screwed and we're going to go to jail, right? For so that's why a lot of people. So it's not like every project that has an undoxed team is a scam. That's definitely not true. There are, but it's very narrow, the amount of projects that are doxed for a good reason, I would say, from what I've seen.
Yeah, and also there's also the big factor that the majority of these projects that are not doxed, they're not going to make it to tier 1 exchange listings. And that is one of the biggest factors. How many projects can you see that are listed on Binance in the top 200 or whatever that have an anonymous teams? I mean, don't say Bitcoin because in Bitcoin is not, but there's very few, if not any, other than Bitcoin. Like seriously, so it's a big deal.
No, absolutely. And that's the way a lot of people think, and that's the way I think. There's probably some great projects out there, but their team isn't doxed, and it sucks. That's just the reality of the market. It's the reality of the market. Hopefully, at least they're making money off their own project. Anyway. But we've also got a question here about Grape. Any opinion on Grape? I've never heard of that one.
Grape is an honorable mention of my list. It has had a rough past couple of weeks because pretty much everything's been dumping. Gaming project have suffered a lot. So if you were looking for an entry for Grape, I think this is it. It's a good project in my opinion. It's a gaming aggregator for mobile. They have a ton of games and a different app. The website is colorful. It looks nice. They built a lot of hype on NFTs during, I think, May 2023. So the entire, it's not this one, by the way. It's called Grapecoin.
Okay.
Like Grape is the thing about, yeah, it's not this one. Let's see.
Grapecoin, this one here?
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay, cool.
The team is also very legit. One of the two founders has worked for Square Enix Mobile, so it launched literally Final Fantasy mobile games. And yeah, they have a lot to lose. They have a lot of reputation. I don't think that this is going to rug people. The initial down was caused, of course, by private and seed sale people dumping. That's what we have on like the majority of gaming projects. They have a very clear roadmap. They're releasing new games very, very shortly. In my opinion, it's going to pump. I think the bottom is here, but I don't know. I might be wrong. It might dump a little bit more, but DCing is probably like a good shout.
Yeah, it's a very low cap, just under 10 million. That's rocking today at 7.3 million. So,
Yeah.
it's got some investment, but it is very small. Just a comparison, guys. Remember, I'll go out to regular coin market cap and just take like a low cap that you might let's take a look at Caspa, for example. So Caspa is here. Caspa has a market cap of 2 billion, right? So very different. And Caspa might be the first time some people watching have ever even heard of this coin, Caspa. This is this has been one of the bigger successes of 2023 moving into 2024, and yet it has been crowned, right? It has a very big market cap versus Grape, the one we were just looking at, is not even at 10 million, right? So there's a different risk to reward dynamic here. And CEPRYL made some very good points about risk management. The age that you are, how old you are, has a big impact, and also your net worth on your risk tolerance, right? So the smaller the cap, right, the more the risk, but also the more potential reward. And that's why I tend to agree with you, CEPRYL, about Caspa being kind of that happy medium where it still has a lot of potential, but it's not as risky as some of these other small caps that you have on your honorable mention list. So, yeah, it's good to have a healthy dose, because folks that are tuning into your channel, they come with probably that risk understanding kind of baked in. Hopefully, I'm sure some of them don't. But folks here, we've cultivated a community of folks who are kind of mostly into Bitcoin news, Ethereum news, and some of the other coins news, right? So bringing you guys, just being overly careful here to explain the risk to reward. So yeah, awesome. All right. Well, we've got a couple more minutes here. We'll wrap up in about 7 minutes. So are there any other projects that you're bullish on, that you're thinking are good? Maybe even point out some scams that you think are overhyped.
Ooh, scams. There's a lot. I don't want to call too many project scams. I think that one of the things that people need to be on the lookout for when researching new gems is seeing if they have buy and sell taxes. That will probably be my main problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you just go on DEX tools, on DEX check, you just type the trading pair, like the ticker, you're going to be able to see if they have buy and sell taxes, which essentially every time that you buy through a decentralized exchange, you're going to be charged this amount of tax, and it's going to go literally just in the pockets of a team. Now, if it's also listed on something like Maxi, you're basically going to avoid that tax because it's only on decentralized exchanges. However, it's not a good sign. It's usually projects that have a non-docs team. So I would stay away from projects like that. One of the first one that comes to mind was Cathion. There was like a gaming project that was hyped a few weeks ago, and I was like, listen, this doesn't look good. Also, a lot of times you get a notice on CoinGecko that the contract owner can change the taxes at any moment without any notice. They can mint new tokens without any. They can literally stop trading if they want to. Those are not good signs for a project. So yeah, that was one of the projects that came to my mind. There's a lot, and or also memes. People need to be careful because they have no utility, they have no roadmap. I have no problems if people want to invest in memes, but at least don't put more money that you can afford to lose. And make sure to take your initial investment out. If you're like even at 2x, 3x, you should probably take your initial investment out, because those things, if you get in the right time, you can make money. Otherwise, you literally just get wrecked. Yeah. So that's probably my advice on that.
Yeah, I look at memes kind of like meme coins, kind of like a casino, right?
Yeah.
There's no, but people sometimes, especially new folks, I don't think they realize that the tokenomics of a meme coin are not built for sustainability at all, right? The fact that Dogecoin is still around, right, is 100% because of Elon Musk and the potential integration that Dogecoin could have with the X finance platform, right? And, Shiba Inu has a really strong community, right? These meme coins, they live and die by hype. And, some of the biggest meme coins that are still around, that have been around a while, there's a hype. There's a compelling narrative behind it, right? But you can make a lot of money in the meme coin world. I don't currently hold any meme coins outside of Doge, right? And the amount of Doge that I have is very, very small. But I don't want to miss out on the giant gains that are coming for Doge, right? We got another super chat here. $2 says to look into ZTX. Is this one that you've thought about much? ZTX.
I think that this is a very dodgy metaverse project, but I'm not super sure on top of my head. Maybe you want to bring it up real quick.
Yeah, I can bring it up. ZTX. All right. Yeah, the market cap isn't horrible. 52 million market cap. If this is the one you're talking about, at least. Exchanges.
Yeah, this should be the one.
It's not on any really big ones, but it's on some decent ones.
Yeah, so I remember this project. It's very risky, in my opinion. I'm not super bullish on the metaverse narrative per se. There's so many scams. The website looks quite dodgy. They don't say anything about the team. I'm not sure if this is not doxed. I think I found some people buying the project, but it's one of those things that you really need to dig down, otherwise you can't track them. It says to be backed heavily by investors in Asia. Fair enough. This might as well pump. It's just that also it's built on Arbitrum, and I haven't seen like very good gaming metaverse projects built on it, to be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
This might pump. It's just that I wouldn't touch it myself, and if somebody was to touch it, I would just say, just be careful. Don't put too much budget allocation into this. It's very risky.
Yeah. Oh, unknown buy and sell tax. That's not great. That's not what you want to see.
Good. Nope.
So this is Go Labs. GoPlusLabs.io. It's just a quick way to check tax and also other stuff. But just taking a look at this, it's got 2 attention items, which I think is the unknown buy and sell tax. Whereas if I backspace, I can't remember what project was already loaded on here. Okay, well, it's not gonna do it for me. Let's see if I can. There we go. I can't remember. I think this might be Hello Labs, but you can see there 0 buy, 0 sell tax. So
yeah, should be like that.
Yeah, doesn't exactly. It should be like that, and it's not. So awesome. Well, we've got a couple minutes left here, CEPRYL. So why don't we go ahead and tell the good folks how they can find you? I've got your YouTube link and your Twitter link down in the description of this video. What is some content that folks can expect from you if they're wanting to tune in and find more gems?
So definitely YouTube is the biggest place that I'm in. I post content once or twice every single day, but every single day there's something that you can expect. I live stream almost every day, and I do this sort of like Q&A format in which I review new projects. Some people bring me some scams. Some other people actually bring me projects that are legit. So I'll give you my opinion. I will give you my top altcoins. Maybe for the gaming sphere, that most of my projects are actually gaming sphere with a touch of AI, I would say. And then I touch also some new projects that are in the real world asset and other industry. But I'll give you my top altcoins for the bull run. I will give you advice on building a portfolio and to also not being fully degenerate, having a safety net. I try to keep the feet on the ground for investors. And that is definitely the main thing that you can expect from me. And then crypto reviews. I try to bring channels as early as projects as always as I can to the channel. But of course, the new gems, I'm usually going to bring them out to my Patreon, and that is the main place that you can find me if you're looking to join a private community of investors and you want to see what I buy and sell pretty much in real time. You will get notifications on my portfolio movements and portfolio reviews and all those things. Then the Patreon is the place to be, and you can see right there in the live stream page that I was bringing up, all the Patreon wins that we've seen in the last couple of months that I've been on Patreon. Really, this all the proven track record that I've generated for the investors right there.
Awesome. All right. Well, I said I wasn't going to put you on the spot, but I am. Where do you think Bitcoin bottoms out here going into Q2, headed for Q2, as we go deeper into Q1? Where do you think the bottom is going to be for Bitcoin? Is this something you even track? Is it worth talking about?
I do believe that the bottom of Bitcoin is going to be in a range. I'm going to give you a range. I'm going to give you a range 32 to 35. I think we're going to go into that level.
Okay, 32 to 35. So that would put us around here. All right. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a real pleasure. I think we discovered some gems today. Thank you so much for going down there and mining the low caps so we don't have to, right? And then bringing them up, the good ones to the surface and showing them here for the good investing bros. Thank you so much, CEPRYL. And make sure you guys go follow and also on Twitter and YouTube. And we'll see you in the next one. I'm going to be more than likely doing a collab. So I will make sure that all the bros know that I'll be going over there when I do it. So thank you so much for coming on, and keep your stop losses tight and stay hydrated. Adios.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms News got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.